Good morning, everyone. This is Brad Matheny. This is the July 23rd Plan Your Trade video. It again is very early, a little later than normal, 5 o'clock for me. Had a long drive yesterday, good day visiting family. All was good, but a long drive, about 350 miles round trip, but it's all good. Give you an example. That's from LA to San Francisco. That's about the same distance, a little shorter, but we're good. Anyway, we are looking at a flat down pattern today in trending mode. Now you can see here that, the market was much lower last Friday. It was 564, 556. 552, 548, now back to 554. Generally, this flat down and this harami inside will be very similar in shape. I expect this flat down pattern to be a little bit larger body wise, open to close wise, than this harami inside bar. So understand that these next 2 days are going to be very difficult for traders. There's not going to be, in my opinion, a whole lot of trending. The flat down bar might get a little bit of downward general trend bias, whereas the harami bar could be, could have wild highs and low swings, but generally is going to close pretty much, almost flat, in my opinion. So when we come over here and we take a look at the charts, and again, let me get rid of some of these trends. This is the area that I expect price to stay in, this yellow area. We're going to go down to the 30-minute, like I always do. And we will shrink and rotate. And what we're looking at, folks, is after yesterday's rally phase. Remember, I mentioned that we could come up into this 554, roughly 555 area. And I highlighted yesterday that if it got above 555 with any momentum, it could go up to this 556, 557, maybe 558 area. It did not. These areas are still valid targets for today. I'll move them over here, and I will move this over here. Now, where we're at today is we've got a flat down day. Let me get rid of some of these. Our flat down pattern will likely present, depending on where it opens. Right now, price is at 555.24, a little bit higher. Will likely present a move back down into this channel. More than likely, price will just stay in a moderate pullback down into yesterday's range. That's what my opinion is. That's what I would be expecting. It will be staying below this resistance area and moving down into this range. So understand that we were going to be expecting, or I would be expecting, a moderate downward trend, nothing too serious, moving back down into this potential lower range, maybe getting slightly below 553, definitely a potential down into 554, but it's going to stay very flat, in my opinion. So understand that we're really looking at a downward flat kind of a day. I doubt we're going to get down too far below this 550, this lower channel here. So call it 553.32, 553.50. And I doubt we're going to get much above this 556.55 area. My guess is, if I were to tell you where I think the bulk of the trading action will be, it'll be in between this 554.70 area and probably down into this 553 area. Just really staying very tight in a moderate downward channel, kind of like this. Then we end up with the harami line, and the harami line pattern the next day should stay very tight. Now, can have some big ranges. We could see it do a lot of things throughout the day, but it's going to likely end up very tight within this range. And then we move into that breakout pattern to the upside. And again, this is flagging out across this channel. Now we could see some news push this a bit higher into the open or up into this 556, 557 area, maybe 558, but I doubt it's going to be very aggressive. And like I said, these next 2 days are really days that, I would advise most traders to sit on your hands and just be patient. The real activity here is to look for, these lows, if you can get them, and to possibly start accumulating around these lows, waiting for that breakout pattern that I expect to see happen around the 23rd or 24th or 25th. Today's the 23rd. So obviously, let me revise that, the 24th or the 25th. This Harami pattern, and the following day here, we have the bottom pattern on the 25th. And then the counter trend top resistance, which I'm reading as another bottom pattern. Those are your real opportunity days. Okay. So we come back over here, and it's this day and this day right here that are your real opportunity days. The location of this lower level, this is a good solid basing bottoming location right over in here. In fact, I'll draw it as a green ellipse in the sense that, oh, there's one right there. I can just steal that one and drag it out. This whole area right here is going to give you a very solid basing bottoming location for price. Okay. It's going to be a very solid basing bottoming area for price moving into what will become the next big phase, which is right over here. This location here is going to likely see price move considerably higher after the 24th and beginning on the 25th. So we need to get through the 23rd. The 24th is going to be our last little consolidation, coiling tight bar before we get a big move to the upside. And I think you need to be aware that the next 2 days are probably going to be really crappy for day traders, whereas the 24th may have bigger range, but still will not be a big trending bar. You could have a larger high or a larger low, but it's not going to have a very big trending bar. Okay, let's look at QQQ. Okay, this is my QQQ drawing from looks like last weekend. You can see what we had drawn. This might have been from yesterday, holding above support. Now we move into that consolidation channel for the next couple of days, just like I drew on the SPY. You can see up here where I thought price would be. I didn't expect us to see this big breakdown, but that's fine. It's still moving very much in alignment with what I had drawn. We saw an upward bar, an upward bar. That's our upward bar. Now we're going to be looking at this rotation trend to potentially the downside, sideways, and then basing sideways, and then moving into a rally phase. And you can see the rally phase is drawn here, looking like we're going to get some sort of an upward move. So we're holding up very well. I mean, this is right in line with what I had drawn. And again, you're going to be looking at the same thing, a flat down bar, moderate downward activity, maybe trying to fill this gap, maybe just completely flat. The next bar is a Harami line, which could have some range. So remember, range could be in the sense like this. So we're looking here. We could get in and out of some range, flattening out, and maybe starting the uptrend very late on the 24th. So be aware that we're really looking at a tight consolidation pattern here, and we're going to see how it plays out. So lastly, I'm going to come over here and take a look at Bitcoin, because Bitcoin was, remember, I called the bottom at 57,000, and see how high it went. Wow. Yep, ran back up to my resistance, a little higher, stalled out. Um, don't know that this trend has ended because we're still in this channel. We're certainly out of the flag that I expected to see happen. We may be setting up a broader flag, kind of like this, across this area if it does stall here. And let's see what we got back here. Uh, could pull this as a flag, but we'll have to see how it plays out. Generally, those that were in this area scoffing at me, saying that I didn't know what I was talking about when price was going to hold at 57,000 and rally, and I told everyone that it could go up to 90,000 or higher. Well, you know what? You guys missed a good $9,000, $10,000 move to the upside, and it's very clean. This is a daily chart. I mean, literally, it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 11 days to roll up close to $10,000. So again, if I were to look at this and to pay attention to what's going on, you've got clear rejection up here. It's not too hard to miss this rejection. Trying to get rid of some of these lines. Okay, that's clean enough. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. So understand that we're outside of this flag. We rallied hard above it, broke above this critical high or standout high, and broke out of this channel with this rejection right above this support channel. I mean, logically, it makes sense to me that we're going to struggle in this area, maybe attempt to go higher, but more than likely, as we're looking at this sideways trend, more than likely rolling down into some flagging formation here before we break out. And remember, that's what I expected it to do, to roll into a flagging formation. So the two general rules for price is it either trends or it flags. And you can call this trending, but now we're getting to a point where it is stalling out. And even if it was a small flag, even if it came into some sideways flagging like this, would still be sufficient, in my opinion, to qualify as sideways flagging before we break out. So even if we moved into a tight little flag like this, that would still be sufficient for a sideways flag before attempting another move. And I think the next move again here would be to the upside. I really do, with the new president coming and the changeover with Biden leaving the race. You know, the let's put it this way: the cards are on the table for big change. And we'll see how it plays out. Okay, going back to the SPY. So remember, this is the daily chart. I know it's tough to see with all my drawing, but just remember that we are going to really see sideways tight flagging. So remember here, we're going to see sideways tight flagging very likely in this channel. So here's our high low. So you've seen the yellow that I've drawn. Well, now if I were to give you an idea of what I think we're going to have, I would say that we're going to see sideways flagging in this range for the next 2 days. And I think that's going to stay our target. So we're really going to be looking at 556, 557 is the high, 550 three potentially is our low today, and then maybe a little wider tomorrow, but generally price will stay between 555 and 554 by tomorrow, and then attempt some sort of a breakout move on the 25th. And this is our big move. So like I told you guys, ideally trying to get anywhere down into this lower channel or into, as I drew this zoning area here. Looks like I had this great big zone. Let me try to get it. See this huge ellipse right here? Yeah, not that. That. See this big zone? This is solid, guys. This is really solid support. And, it's going to be moving in the upward direction here. I'll drag this down a little bit. But this is very solid support in this area. This is going to give you an idea that as we move into this lower channel here. Remember, into this channel or this channel, pretty much anything below 554 over the next couple of days, that's going to give you a very solid downward channel to potentially begin to accumulate if you believe that my upward price prediction on the 25th, 26th, 27th, and so forth next week continues or is going to continue. So be aware that this was a very solid low. We've seen the recovery. This is solid rejection. Now we're going to be looking for further rejection over in this area before we see a move back up into the 560, 562 area. And again, it's just a matter of reading the patterns. Love all the comments. I know you guys have a bunch of questions, particularly about Japanese candlesticks and other things, which I'm very, very familiar with. I will get into those over the next couple of days. I still have a day and a half of traveling to go with family, so bear with me, guys. I'm getting back into it, but it's really tough to be on my computer and on the road at the same time. Okay, guys, that's it for now.